Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm your host, Giovanna Burgess-White, with my co-host.
Hello, I'm Yvette Valdenegro.
And welcome to part 3 of What is a Trifecta? Today we are going to talk about relationship with time. And I'm sure everyone's like, and I'm off. I don't want to watch. I don't want to listen. But for those of you guys who know us and all of our clients and all of our friends and our community, they always say Geo has more time than everyone else. But I don't. I really don't. We have the same amount of time, the same 24 hours in a day. But we are going to talk about why it's so important to create a relationship with time. If you're watching us for the first time, welcome. We're live every Wednesday. If you're listening to us, we have a new podcast every Friday. Please go back because this is a 4-part series. And we want you guys to kind of get an intro of what the trifecta is, which is relationship with self, time, and money. Last week, we talked about relationship with self. So important. This
where it all begins.
This whole series is going to be very hard for a lot of people to listen to and watch, but it's the reality of the world we live in. And, Yvette and I are really trying to rewrite this book that was never written, but we're going to write the book on having a really great relationship with these 3 things, because when you master it, when you know it, when you have true identity, you prioritize yourself first. Time and money kind of are the second factors of kind of the what revolves, and then every relationship after that falls into place. It's not magic. It's not magic. It literally is when you put yourself first and you really master a relationship with time and money and having good paradigms, good energy, a great mindset, however you want to look at it. Every relationship in your seasons, if it's your family, your friends, your kids, your spouse, your business, whatever you prioritize after that, all fall into place.
Yeah. And I love when people say, like, why do you guys really just do what you do? What's like, why? I literally, in my head, I just go, when you have your favorite restaurant or place to go or vacation spot, what do? You tell everybody about it. And I know for me personally, I loved, like, I really did like my life. I'm not going to say I didn't like my life, but ever since I've been making these personal changes and going in a direction that I know that I was really created and destined, I don't feel like it's not a push anymore. Do I still feel like sometimes we are the salmon going against the stream? Yeah, because I feel like we take the risk and we want to learn more and grow and are constantly out there, like putting ourselves out there in a vulnerable position in a good way. But I don't feel the push of the world coming back at me. And that push kept making me regress and regress and regress and just want to be in my cave. No one should be in a cave. And I truly, when I say this, even just we first talked about what was the trifecta, what does that really mean? Then last week we talked about self. Self. Now we're doing time. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I think is hard for most of us because the working in our brains that we have been going on forever and ever, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is me all the time, or was me all the time. I don't have enough time. There's not enough time. How am I going to make all this happen? But when you realize that we all have the same amount of time and that there really is mindsets as to when you go into those things, or what I'm really telling myself, instead of me feeling paralyzed, because I used to sit down and be like, I don't even know what to do first. How do I do all these things? Because now I'm in overwhelm. And I'm not rested. I'm not relaxed. I don't have good thought processes. I'm just rushing through everything, which when you rush through things, you really don't get things done in a really you're just not doing it in a good way. So the thought processes of what does time really mean? What does it do for us? And like you said, you give yourself the gift of time. It really is a gift. And now I cannot be so more grateful that there is time off. There is time to relax. And we talk about this we've been talking about this offline a lot. Being in the present, being able to really enjoy, I feel like I'm going to cry right now. Enjoy a moment with your family or your friends or your loved ones without having the junk in your head constantly telling you, hurry up and get back to your email. Make sure you call that person. You only have an hour. Make sure those are real conversations that happen. Instead of just being able to relax, those thoughts are not in my head anymore. If anything, it's the reverse. Guess what? It's time to go back to work. But now it's a joy. It's not a stress. But this one thing, and I am so thankful that this is really your beam, your shining light and gift to all of us, to model it, to be able to teach it in a way that is so obtainable. And sure, it's challenging. It's not easy. It takes patience. But the way you do it makes so much sense that I love every single time you teach it. Everyone's face is like this. No, wait, first it's like this. What? What is she saying? And then it turns into, oh, and you can literally see weight lifted off, because it's so freeing when you start to realize, I do have time. This can happen. This is like obtainable.
Yep.
It changes everything.
Yeah. And so I know what people are saying right now, and they're like listening or watching us, and they're like, whatever. You're different. It's different with you. You don't understand the situation. You don't know where I'm in. Yes, we do. It's also seasonal. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're working a corporate 9 to 5, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're a teacher, if you're a therapist, if you're a coach. It doesn't matter, because time is the same for everyone. It's how you perceive it, how you think about it, how you talk about it. And this is the number one conversation we have with all the women we meet, not even our clients. I don't have enough time for me. We just talked about self. I don't have enough time in my business. I have too much on my plate. I'm always tired, like over and over. Who has control over your schedule? You do. Not your, but you don't understand. I have a bot. No, I do. I completely understand. We have been in every realm that you can think of. Corporate, entrepreneurship, 2, 3 businesses at the same time. You have the control. I see this in the corporate. I see this with my husband. You have to set those boundaries. You go work for corporate. You sign a contract. You have a job description, responsibility, roles. You decide to take the emails. You decide to take the phone. You've decided to do that. When people are like, oh, I have too much on your plate. Well, you're the one who made the schedule, or overscheduled, or aren't planning correctly. So I know it's really hard for you. I get it. My family and my friends, the rest of my friends tell me all the time, you're always so busy. I didn't ask you because you just never have enough time. No, I'm just scheduled. I'm really well scheduled. I don't put more on my plate than I can. And if I can do it, I'll let you know. But if I don't, but it's not a personal thing. But now my friends are like, oh, if I just ask her, well, yeah. But 3 to 6 months of my life is scheduled. And so for some people, that's hard to even process. But here's the thing. The feelings that I had in the previous years was the feeling of being rushed and the feeling of being overwhelmed. I hated those feelings. Like every single day I woke up feeling rushed and overwhelmed. I didn't have enough time to do my hair, my makeup, and like getting all the clothes. So there's like practical things. That's why when I teach the class and we do have the workshops and I talk about the gift of time, it literally is the most practical, the smallest things that you can do, but I don't feel rushed or overwhelmed anymore. That right then and there, that has created such a beautiful life for me to not feel that way in life and in business. And if you have kids, your kids will tell you, my mom works too much. She doesn't have time. When that's happening, or your spouse or your friends, you see how it's a ripple effect. So when we talk about the trifecta and we bring this series to you, it's because this is the real world.
The real deal. Yeah. I think the other thing we always hear too, which I wasted time.
Yeah.
And this is like real talk. And I love when we do real talk, but I have to take responsibility for that. I am the only person, and boy, did I make, and sometimes still do, excuses as to why. And being in a safe environment to unpack that, to talk about it, to really come into grips of, because you can be somewhere where you're like, I'm not even going to say a word because, oh my God. But when you're in a safe space to say, like, these are my obstacles, but also to have like that soft, okay, but let's really face that, because I know for myself, a lot of it was just wasted time, but because I was choosing to do things that were not in alignment with really what I was wanting to do. And I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways for me personally was like, if you want to go from point A to point B, there are things like anything in life, anything, there has to be changes. So Yvette, if you want to create more time or figure out what is going on with your time, you have to be real with yourself and be able to listen, take responsibility. But again, I'm going to go back to, I'd never heard, out of all the things I've ever been taught in my entire life, I'm like, this is all coming. It's like it just came full circle as to time is really neutral. And I'm attaching things to it, but I've got to take my own responsibility for my own time and what I'm doing. And I either waste it on something like this,
Yep.
or I'm working towards my goals. It's one or the other. There's no in between.
Yep. So and you just, everything that you said goes back to you. And this is why self comes first, but it takes work. Like, again, we're not going, hey, here's a mini series, create a great relationship with yourself, time and money. No, it takes time. And it's this whole, wherever we got it, if it's our upbringings, what we were told. I mean, when it comes to time and money, I feel like that's what we were told as children, and no, you can't, and there's not enough time. Like, that's just always been told. But what I want to say is, oh, I forgot to put our little, we were so into our conversation. What I
Lady.
about time is, it really is a gift, but also, like, once you're in control of it and you have a healthy relationship, which everyone's going to have a different relationship, right? It's not going to always be the same. Oh, I love how you're little.
I know the first one was like me, as you're spiraling. Time is just spiraling. It's just going around. And I used to literally feel like I couldn't, well, I wanted to stop time. Like, can I just stop time? Like, can I just stop it so I can finish my task because it's just flying away from me? I don't look at it like that now. And that's why I said at the beginning, more of this is now more in the moment. And you know what's crazy? I don't know why I want to say this right now, but also being in the moment, I feel like has also shifted even the way we do things, because it's now, or it's what are we're taking the time not only for ourselves to listen to ourselves, but because we're taking that time, then we're way more effective and powerful in what we do, which then gets passed on to the closest people around us, which is our family, our partners, and children, and our clients.
The perfect example of the ripple effect. You are you, then you have this beautiful relationship with time, which, again, the overwhelm, the being tired, the always feeling rushed, the never having enough time. That's what that looks like. But this is what it should feel like. When it doesn't matter what season, what time, it doesn't even matter if you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or if you're waking up at 7 or at 9, the feeling of time is on your side. And you are in control of the feeling and the relationship you have with it. We don't look at it as a relationship.
I know this is going to sound cheesy as HE doubles hockey sticks. That picture totally resonated with me because when I was doing all this research and stuff, I was actually traveling to New York. My daughter was graduating, and being able to spend time with my kids. This is truly the feeling that I had all day long, of like being able to be rested, be present, to enjoy, whether it was taking pictures, being of service to her while she's packing up her room, enjoying the other kids, meeting new people. I wasn't distracted. I literally felt this inner peace of like, everything's not okay, like I'm masking it, but like, okay, because it is okay. It's okay for me to take off this time. It's okay for me to enjoy my children. But that, again, took time to get there. But this is truly, you can have an inner peace. You can have that tranquility of just the calming. It's great. Time is on my side. It's not against me. It's for me.
I love it. Well, we have some great things coming up. Next week, we're going to kind of wrap up our series. We're going to talk about money. But
Money.
last month we had an amazing series on money laundering, not the money laundering you think. So if you want to learn more about money too, we had that last series and we had an amazing guest. But what we're doing for the summer, all of you guys know that we love our workshops, we love being in person, we love building our communities. But this summer we decided to do a mini summer series for you. 4 days, mini summer series. And the reason why is because I already know, Gio, we don't have time, Yvette, we don't have time, it's the summer, blah, 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 blah. 30 minutes a day for 4 days. If you can't do that, there's a bigger problem. So we've decided, how can we help better serve you this summer is we're going to be on for 4 days for 30 minutes, interactive, short, sweet, simple. I'm going to talk about the same thing that we're talking about now, but we're going to give you practical exercises that you can do daily to really start creating a great relationship with yourself first, creating the healthy relationship with time, and having a great relationship with money. So the link is where you're listening or where you're watching. It's free to sign up, for women only. And if there's anybody out there in your circle that you're like, oh my God, they need to come on, yes, please bring them on, because we love to give, we love to serve. Our previous clients will be on, our new clients will be on. It's just going to be a great way for you to interact and understand. The minute you put yourself first and you really start working on this trifecta, your life is going to feel balanced. It's going to feel at peace. You're going to start to feel purpose, because that's the most important thing. And we're going to get you out of the copy and paste, the hamster wheel. We need to add those images to our last part. Like, we are really going to take you from A to B and help you with that, because it's really all it is. It's a mindset. It's how you think. It's the energy that you're putting into it. It's taking all the negative and putting it into positive, and gifting you, like what we're doing right now, gifting you this beautiful relationship with time. So,
okay, I'm laughing because I just want to say this. If for some reason you just listen to Gio say all of that and your first thing that comes in your head is, but I don't have time, then this is for you. Because if you literally can't take 30 minutes out of your day for 4 days for yourself, and that was the first thing that just went through your head, I'm telling you, like, don't even go, I don't know. No, I'm telling you to your face, look at me. It's for you. You'll thank us later.
yes, and you can't join us live. Do not worry. You can watch the replay. So anywhere you're watching or listening, click on the link to grab your free spot. We'll be back on again next week to finish up the series on part 4 with money. If you can't wait until the end of the month, which if you're listening live or watching live, it's June 27th is when we start our mini summer series. If you cannot wait till then, there's another link where you're watching and listening, where you can jump on a free virtual connection call, and we will just help you. Sometimes just hearing yourself talk about you, which is what we want to do, helps figure out where you need to be. And then, of course, we have tons of free tools and resources on our website. So until next week.